Thank you, Emanuele. Hi, everyone. I'm Vincenzo Manzon, co-founder and chairman of Tide, of 5 Elements Labs, the company behind Tide, tideprotocol.xyz. I will explain you later what Tide is. Here you can see what I will be talking about. So basically, I will introduce what Web3 marketing is and its main innovation, so the direct user incentivization. We will talk about its evolution during the time. We will talk about focusing on airdrops and on the new Web3 AD unit, so the quests. We will analyze their economic model, how they work, and their feature of being naturally omni-channel. So then we will focusing on the fact that they are really working or not. We will analyze their problems, and we will talk then about what Tide is and how Tide solves all the problems that we will see together. Then I will show you a use case. So basically, I will let you understand better the tangible impact that Tide actually has on the metrics of our clients. And then we will talk about our vision of the Web3 marketing and how it will evolve in the next few years. And of course, this represents an opportunity for traditional brands that are now understanding the potential of this new technology and trying to embed it and integrate it in their traditional stack. So, Web3 marketing introduced something that it's the equivalent of something that we already have in the Web 2, and is the direct user incentivization. We see something similar in the offer walls. For those who are expert in the gaming industry, they may already know what I'm talking about. So basically, some marketplaces where you can complete some actions in order to have in-app rewards. And this is mainly about, this is mainly due to the fact that so far, the centralized platforms that are the most used on the traditional web have prevented Web3 companies to advertise through traditional campaigns due to their AD policies. And this led to the direct user incentivization, as I said before, through tokens or NFTs, any kind of digital rewarding. And of course, this kind of marketing, the Web3 marketing, is natively interoperable. So basically, is natively omni-channel. At every touch point of the users, it is possible to provide personalization both on a reward level and on a user level, on a activity level. So here is a brief picture representing the history, the evolution of the Web3 user incentivization. We started back in the days with liquidity mining. So protocols used to incentivize through additional yields the deposits in their pools, in their smart contracts of resources, in order to incentivize these actions. And then a new paradigm, especially with the Uniswap airdrop, took place. And I'm talking about airdrops, of course. And then this way of incentivize user actions and activity on the platform turned into a bloodbath for too many protocols. So the paradigm changed again, and through the inventions of Galaxy, Layer 3, and other Quest marketplaces, the Quest has been introduced. Now, even Quest, we will see later, could be seen as not so efficient. So we are moving on a more data-driven approach. So basically, we are now seeing a new paradigm. So quests that are being more data-driven, so do not reward anymore only the action, the mere action, or the means, but the actual value that is brought to the protocol. We will see it together later. So starting from the airdrops, airdrop have unfortunately attracted more tourists than actual holders, than actual residents in the protocols. We've seen too many opportunistic behaviors by users that grabbed the tokens and then flew away, then left nothing in terms of value for the protocols. And I'm now showing the analysis on the Uniswap airdrop, which was one of the most successful of all the airdrops that have been carried out so far. So as you can see, 90% of the receivers of the airdrops have dumped the tokens that they received, and only a very tiny percentage of the receivers have holded the token until the recent times. So this paradigm turned to be inefficient. A lot of resources have been wasted, and the ROAS has been, a return on advertising spending, has been constantly negative. So at the moment, the quests have turned to be the most popular Web3 ad unit. What are quests, for those who don't know? They are marketing campaigns that reward users for different kinds of actions, both on social media or on-chain. They are mostly available on quest marketplaces, so websites that showcase different quests, different missions, rewarding users and interactions with NFTs, with tokens, and with digital rewards. And this kind of ad unit are used by the protocols, by games, by different apps to try to attract long-term users, to try to have customer lifetime value that could be high for the users, and they try to rent these users through these quests. How the quest works in terms of economic model. So basically, quest platforms work not so differently with respect to, for example, Google or Facebook, so the traditional advertising providers, platforms. They charge for ADS, for advertising, although in a very different way. So basically, the traditional Web2 advertising model right now is the cost per action, so the CPA. You pay for different kind of interactions, the providers to incentivize the showcase of my advertising. While quests work differently, so they now are charging for the quest, so a cost per quest, or they are working with a cost per mint model, so cost per participants. And of course, when you have a customer acquisition cost, so you are paying customer to acquire them, you have a return on this advertising spend. And this is the method used to judge the effectivity of these activities. So basically, if the ROAS is positive, the quest have been successful. If the ROAS has been negative, the quest have been unsuccessful. So, as said before, the Web3 marketing has a feature that makes it unique. So it's natively omni-channel, and this is, as said before, due to the interoperability of the data that are stored on the blockchain, and this leads to personalization that can be brought both on rewards and on user experiences on different channels. So, for example, on social media, on dApps, and so on and so forth, on a reward level, etc. But how are these quests right now performing? As we can see, this is an example of an analysis that we at Tide have performed. So basically, the impact of the Optimist quest on the pull together TVL. As you can see, during the quest and even before the quest, the TVL increased for the rewards or for the waiting for the reward, let's say. As you can see, at the end, the retention of the TVL once the incentive ended has been very low, although decent compared to other examples. The pull together has been decent, but very low. We can see from other examples that the usage of protocols that incentivized some interactions at the end of the incentives have been less than before the incentive. So not only the return on advertising has been negative, but the incentive has demonstrated itself to be something dangerous for the protocol. So the consideration now is low retention in Web3 equals low customer lifetime value. So Quest have been a great acquisition method, but they led to very low retention. And the difference here with respect to Web2 is that in Web2, businesses buy users. So there's a CAC, a customer acquisition cost, and then the user acquired is monetized. The user go to the platform and spend their budget. And actually, this leads to the fact that traditional publishers right now expect to be paid upfront by the media that publishes their advertising. In Web3, the paradigm is pretty different. So businesses are not buying users, but are renting users. And they are doing it through the rewards or the promise of the rewards to incentivize a protracted engagement. So we can see that the user monetization is an ongoing process, exactly as a coupon payment in a bond. So it takes different steps. But we've seen that quests are not so efficient, and this is due to different problems. They are right now technically too hard, so they are very hard to build and are not self-service. So a marketer cannot go to a Quest platform and build the quest that they want to build. They are not data-driven, so they do not rely on analytics and targeting infrastructure. And they lack proper distribution channels that are now limited to Quest marketplaces that we will see are populated mainly by inorganic activity and bots. So through our analysis, we understood that quests that do not rely on data tend to have a negative return on advertising spend. Because incentivized quests, so quests that are based on a cost per quest model or on a cost per mint model, tend to incentivize opportunistic behavior, such as multi-accounting or worse, Sybil attacks, so bots that exploit rewards and do not leave any action that is valuable for the protocols or the applications that are emitting the incentives. And of course, this leads to a negative return on advertising spend. And of course, this is something that all the marketers want to avoid. And this is exactly why we invented Tide, which is the marketing and analytics suite that empowers businesses to launch and track Web3 native campaigns that target, connect with, and retain users. Tide is based on two pillars. The first one is the no-code campaign builder, and the second one is the performance analytics. We can see the first one as the Google Ads for Web3. So basically, it is possible in a no-code way to create task-based, data-driven campaigns that release Web3 incentives in exchange for valuable actions for the applications that release these incentives. And of course, these incentives can be dynamic. So basically, they can be dependent on the user or on the action that is required to the user. Furthermore, the performance analytics allows to track the conversion rates, the wallets and customer data. For example, their social media handles, they integrate with off-chain data, the wallet behaviors, and so on and so forth. And this enhances the possibility to track the metrics and the return on investment of blockchain-based events. So, returning to the problems that I showed you before, so basically the problems that right now are affecting the traditional quests, we are solving these problems through different features. We provide a bot protection on a different level, on 3 different levels, both through the creation of audience systems. So basically, clusters of wallet that shares some characteristics. For example, I'm a user, I'm part of a cluster that allows only DEX users that have at least X amount of volume of a DEX or on a protocol to be part of. We provide the possibility to request Gitcoin passport scores. So we are partner of Gitcoin. And we can require complex on-chain actions. For example, deposit at least X amount of tokens in this pool for at least Y amount of time. And this, of course, at the end of the funnel is another bot protection mechanism. And on top of that, we strongly rely on data. So basically, we believe that rewards should be dynamic and based on customer lifetime value. So not only on who the customer is, but even on what the actions that are protracted and valuable during the time should be. And on top of that, we provide even the possibility to create campaigns with soulbound tokens and dynamic NFTs that can be the equivalent of the Web2 memberships, the loyalty cards that are tokenized, that give an added gamification layer and a better UX to the applications that integrate this solution. And that leads to the possibility to create status-based utilities or airdrop allocation. I will show you very soon a case of a client of ours that is working very well. We are generating a great volume on their bridge, thanks to this solution. So our mantra, our ethos here is higher retention equals higher customer lifetime value for the reasons that I explained you before. So we have a tangible impact on clients' KPI, and this is something showed by data. This is an example of a client of ours. So basically, through a single campaign based on dynamic NFTs, we led to a considerable increase in terms of volume generated on their platform. I'm talking about different millions of dollars. And this is something that has been possible, said before, through the dynamic NFTs campaign. So basically, users through simple actions minted a soulbound token. This soulbound token works exactly like a membership card. And this membership card evolves accordingly to on-chain actions or valuable actions for the different protocols. And can be the profile image on the platform, added a gamification layer, as I said before, can unlock utilities based on status, and so on and so forth. So they give new possibilities in terms of gamification and UX to the different protocols. So how will we change the digital marketing scene? As I said before, we think that the new model that should be adopted is the cost per value. Okay, so basically, users should be rewarded in a cashback-like way for the actual value that they bring to the protocol, and should, in this way, split with the protocol the value that they generate. We think that that rewards should be dynamic as well as the tasks. So basically, for example, I'm 1 inch, and I want to perform vampire attacks on Uniswap users. I can showcase a quest that dynamically changes based on who you are. You're a Uniswap user. I can reward you the double with respect to a normal user. And we think that NFTs are the new form of cookies, okay, that are more ethic, that are more accepted by users, and that they can reward directly the users for their data. Of course, they are interoperable, and this is something that will be very important in the near future. On top of that, we think that Quest, as well as interactive advertising, should be embedded directly on dApps and websites. We don't want anymore that Quest are showcased on third-party marketplaces that drive traffic to my website, and 80% of this traffic is composed by bots. We want a new method to enhance retention that showed before is very important for the customer lifetime value, which is the method to evaluate the users in Web3, the most important for the Web3 platforms. And we think that in the near future, through our solutions, we will lead to a high gamification on websites and apps. and this is something that we care a lot about. And of course, we think that even status with brands or with different provider could be resellable in the market. So basically, I could be a super user of an exchange, and this leads me to have utilities such as gas rebates or better yields, for example. I can sell my status, okay? And this is something that will take place, in our opinion. And of course, this is not limited only to the Web3 scene. This is something that represents an opportunity, especially for traditional brands. We are now in different talks with different traditional brands in order to bring this to reality. We think that Web3 can offset an ever rising customer acquisition cost. We think that this can lead to new gamified experiences for users, for customers. We think that this is a way to activate new generations that are already tech savvy and know how this technology works. Of course, we need an account abstraction, we need new onboarding methods, but we're working very hard on it, and we think we will solve this problem very soon. And of course, this represents a way to collect zero and first-party data that is very effective for these brands that now rely on third-party data, but this third-party data will be soon useless because cookies will be outlawed. This is, of course, dependent on the fact that NFTs are a new data standard that is interoperable and shareable across different databases. So data are not anymore siloed in the platform database, but that could be stored on chain and so interoperable, as I said before, and embeddable and could be integrated with this surrounding infrastructure in different ways. And yeah, that's pretty everything that I had to see. Here is a QR code linking to our website, our Linktree. If you want to follow us or ask us questions, we have a booth here outside. Very happy to answer all your doubts. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them.